Morning, everyone. Thank you for joining our today's webinar titled "Engagement Banking," which is delivered together with our new partner, Backbase. This is another webinar within the series devoted to digitalization. However, this time we are tackling the topic from a slightly different angle. For the last 2 years, we've been really working. We've been organizing a series of webinars to lay down foundations for digitalization in microfinance, making sure that we have all a proper understanding of the whole spectrum of what's needed to actually deliver your services through virtual channels. And in this year, we want to initiate a new series of webinars, and this is the very first one, where we are providing with our member MFIs, with our partners, with the review of simply various solutions. Be it like today, the one platform to originate the loans and to have the contact to have one source of contact with clients, or also we plan to review other solutions from sort of different functional areas of in MFIs. So that's really the new initiative. So let us start. Let me welcome Caroline, who is Business Development Manager at Backbase. Caroline, thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, thank you very much for having me.
It's a pleasure here. So Backbase provides more than 150 large financial institutions with their single platform that allows capturing all lines of products, different markets, meaning different markets also in different legal contexts and different communication channels. That's what we are going to talk about their perspective, how to really engage with clients, and simply Caroline will go through their example how they do it with their solution. I'm Eva Bańkowska, Deputy Director at MFC. It's my pleasure as always, to facilitate the webinars devoted to digitalization. Meantime, please let us know the country and organization you are representing today. So please use chat to type in the name of your organization, also the country you are based in. This would be really great to see who is with us today. Before we move, let me just take this opportunity to invite you to our MFC Annual Conference. After 2 years of virtual meetings, we are happy to organize the face-to-face networking event back in Istanbul. So join us and feel free to see the agenda and register at our conference website, which you should see in the bottom of the slide. With this, Caroline, let me invite you to share your slides. While Caroline will go through her slides, let me all invite you to simply ask your questions as we go. You can type them in the chat, and also as always, every now and then we will answer those questions. We will stop to answer those questions, and definitely there will be also a chance to unmute and ask them in the end of the session. Also, in the last part of this webinar, actually, I would like to ask you, together with Caroline, we would like to ask you for your feedback and opinion on what you think about such an opportunity of providing digital solution for a group of clients. So for a group of MFIs, we will discuss it in the end of the webinar. So we really count on your feedback here and your opinions. With this, before we really start, let me just share with you the very first poll. You should be able to see it already on your screen. The poll with a question: which digital channels do you use to communicate with clients? So please take a look and mark all the answers that are relevant for your MFI. Let's just take a few seconds to see where we are with this, and we will move on. So I hope you can all see the poll on your screen. We have already 50% of our today's participants have already answered. Let's just spend a few more seconds. Okay. And I will share the results in a second. Okay, let me close the poll, as most of you already answered. So here are the results. Okay, we can see that the call center and email, these are the most popular digital channels. I'm curious, what are the other channels? Two persons mentioned other digital channels. So if you would like to share with us in the chat what are those other options, that would be great. And we have also some organizations that actually use chatbot or live chat, most probably on the web page or in the in a type of messenger, be it Viber or other messenger. That's my assumption. So okay, quite a number of tools used. So now, Caroline, let's see how does it look like from how does the engagement banking looks from your perspective as Backbase?
Yes, thank you very much. I am very happy to be participating and guiding you through today's session about engagement banking. And thank you, Eva, and special thanks especially to you for setting up this meeting, this webinar, and also for the organization of today. After you've set the frame of what today is going to be about, I would like to first introduce you to Backbase really shortly. So, oh, there we go. Yes, as Eva mentioned, the company is called Backbase, and we are a specialized software provider for financial institutions all across the world. So we're working with over 150 banks at the moment, and maybe you can recognize one or another of the logos here that are already stated. So banking is really all that we focus on. This is where we have expertise. So it's 2,000 people that work for Backbase, and more than 50% of all of our employees are in the development department. So really building the infrastructure, the software for you who need it. So, and this is all that we focus on, and we really specialize in this. This is, well, not only our clients are happy with our services, but also international research has shown that Backbase is really leading in accompanying banks in their digital transformation. And this is something that I really want to focus on. So the development of change of how is it done today versus how do you want to do it in the future? How can it be done in the future, maybe to put it like that, is really a change. And Backbase is really a partner to accompany banks or financial institutions, or also MFIs in this process. This is what you can see on this slide. So maybe now to have a closer look at 3 examples of what we have done for different banks. I choose 3, which I would really want to explain to you briefly. So the first being, because I think it's always better if you have a clear example of how of how Backbase has accompanied these financial institutions to become more efficient in the processing of their interaction with clients, but also to increase their customer satisfaction. So the first example is the biggest bank in Mauritius. And for this bank, we provided them with a seamless digital experience for their customers. There are some e-customers, to mention this, as business clients. And what they really saw by that is that if they have a new product that is launched, that is available, or also a prolongation of a loan is due, the adoption rate of this is up to 85%, which is very high. A second example that I really wanted to lay out here is how Backbase can help financial institutions to improve the digital processes, or to improve the processes by using digitalization. So for the Austrian BKS Bank, we were helping them with their origination flow for their leasing applications. And this is incredible. What happened is 90% of time reduction just due to the digital channel. So actually, if you go to the website of BKS Bank and start the flow there, they have it right from the website. You can already see 1 or 2 glimpses of what Backbase can actually do. For BKS Bank, this resulted in their customers only taking 5 minutes of their time to actually complete their application process, which is incredible. A German bank, this is where I'm based in Germany, so this is why I chose the last example. It's also the most recent example of these 3. This is very interesting because I saw that quite a few of you are actually using call centers in your to communicate with your clients, right? So this is kind of in this direction. For BKS Bank, what we did is that we install the end-to-end process, meaning that it starts from your customer and also your employees benefited, and we really streamlined the process along this line, took out redundant steps, made it more clear what is to do, and this reduced the costs of the servicing, or the servicing costs in the interaction with the clients by 18%. So this is just 3 metrics to give you an idea of how Backbase can really help banks in their digital processes. And we now want to talk about microfinance. This is maybe the next most important step in today's webinar, right? So to bring it all to microfinance. To prepare, I had a discussion with Aoife, and I also had a look at some of your websites to get an idea of where MFIs are standing today, and there's a few things that came to my attention in looking at these processes. So it's clear that that the digital, in digital times, the customer will always first have a look at the website. That's the first source for information. Whenever you hear about something, you'll do a quick research on it. So you'll open your phone, maybe you're still in the bus or going somewhere. The client will open their phone, have a look at your website. And what I've noticed here is that not always the customer or the client is presented with the opportunity to really interact with you already. So what we see is what other banks or financial institutions have done in the past is to really just give them the opportunity to interact, maybe like a contact formula, or also positive examples I've seen quite a few, is if you have like a chat bot or a chat possibility, something to interact with your customers. And changing small things like this is really like luring the customer in and bringing them closer to you instead of keeping them at a distance. Because how it is today, right, your customers, they will have to actually make a bigger effort and call you, or have to go to your office and then ask for the interaction there if they are newly interested in your product. So to really bring the customer closer and not to keep him on distance, this is like one of the very nice ways to reduce friction with the digital service and to bring the customer closer. Also, when the customer is at the branch office or next to you, or you're talking about microfinance loans, there's still quite a lot of paperwork involved, especially if we think about signing documents. Yes, this is a process that is still quite manually done, and just starting to be more digitalized. So in Western European countries, or also the Americas, you have incredibly fast loan application processes. Within a few moments, a few minutes, you can have opened a loan, taken out a loan, or installed a new credit card. That is done within moments. And this evolution, so to say, is really at hand, and it's very important to see this change happening in the field, and also the demand of the customer is really changing in that sense. Now, a next step that takes quite long is the approval of a loan, right? So the scanning of the information that we have at hand, and then not only making the decision, but also documenting the decision. And this is also one of the processes that with a digital process and automation can be made a lot quicker and easier. This is something I want to emphasize on. It's not only about quick, it's also about easy and reducing mistakes for your employees within the whole process. The point made here, maybe just to kind of sum it up, all the friction that there still is in the processes, is that it is quite a time-consuming process, and that quite a few of these steps can be taken out, can be streamlined for the origination of a business loan by using digitalization, because it makes it easier and quicker for both your customers and your employees. This is more the theory of what we do, just to give you an idea of how we work. So we will really streamline the processes and take out additional steps that can be shortened. Maybe to give you more context now on how Backbase is actually involved in this process, or what we actually also offer. So two things here are very important for us. What we want to achieve, or what we want to help banks, financial institutions, and MFIs with, is really to delight your customers, to hire their loyalty, to make them more, to bring them closer to you, and also to empower your employees. Because if you do both, then you will have a streamlined process that will improve also your revenue, that will improve growth rates, that will lower costs. These are the most important things about this, and running this business is to keep that very streamlined, while at the same time delighting customers and empowering employees. We do this by our engagement banking platform. Let's take a short break here. Engagement banking platform, this is what we were talking about. So it's really about the engagement with your customers. The engagement banking platform will sit on top of your existing systems. So we really integrate in what you have today. And this is where the end-to-end digitalization comes in. So we provide you with the systems for your clients and also for your employees, and we connect it to what you have today. And by this, it's really it's a digitalization for long term. It's not only an additional system, but since it is integrated, it will make your process easier, because all the information that is needed will be transferred to where it is. You'll have all the information at hand. And this is what we mean with the orchestrate engagement. So it's really, with the engagement banking platform, you're gaining an additional layer, which will orchestrate the information at hand to run the systems for customers and to run the systems for their employees. Another benefit of this is that once the engagement banking platform is installed, it is very easy to adapt other partners or other fintechs or other systems into the platform. So what you're really also gaining is an opening for more digitalization, which can be easily integrated into your systems. You can use it kind of as a plug, you can imagine. So this is the system of the engagement banking platform. And what this webinar really is focusing on is how the digitalization, how this can look and feel for your customers. And for this aspect, I have brought a short demonstration with me. It's going to be on my phone. The phone is the preferred device that is used. And another very important aspect of this is that wherever the customer is, he wants to have the same experience. Meaning, if he's just at the bus, remember that that picture I chose at the beginning. A client is at the bus, just heard about your MFI, and now is doing a research, started to fill in the application, then arrives at home, and now wants to continue working where they left off. And that is possible with the engagement banking platform, and that's what we understand as omni-channel. So how can we delight your customers? And just to give you a glimpse of how that is, I will now activate my phone and give you a short demonstration. This is really what is nice of webinars and digital days. This is easily, you can do this easily because I just brought our product along, and you should at the moment be seeing my screen. I'll just show you where we are. I just opened our banking app on the phone. I see my balance. I am currently logged in as a Robin. Robin has a small bike in a bike shop in the States. I didn't change this just to really show you, since we are active worldwide, it is very easy for us to adopt our platform. So what this platform is, you can also see how it is built. It is constructed of little modules, and these modules can be rearranged to each country. This is also something that Eva was saying. So like all the different currencies, the look and feel. Maybe you want to have it in a different color because it has to match your MFI. All of these are examples of how this really is a modular platform that we can adjust to your preferences. So we have the app here. We see our cash flow right in the center of the app because this is the most important feature as decided by the bank that I'm currently using the app for, to really maintenance the cash flows. I can see my current accounts below. I can see if I took out a loan as well here in my overview. And I just created a scenario. Imagining the scenario that we know that a big bill has to be paid. And we can see this here, and what you saw, you can see it as number 16, right? So the cash flow is going to be negative. This is the effect where we know, okay, we have to become active now as a client. We want to change something. Because this information is at hand for you at the bank, you can be active. You can have a mechanism which you don't have to do manually, but automatic can be installed, and you can send out a push notification to your client. As an example, this is a cash flow, but it can also be your loan is ending, you have to become active now, for example. So you can inform your client directly. We have tools to do this, where you as an employee can have you have an overview over the whole customer engagement, and you can really just let them know or send them a notification within the app, but also in the email or also by calendar, just to give them an overview of what is going on with their financials. And what we've also done here is that we've informed the client. It's highlighted here in the center, and we also give the client the possibility to directly become active. So you see at the top here, I'll click it in a second, you see a little box saying that they will now have to take out a loan. In this case, it's a line of credit. If I click on it, this will appear directly. So we can get started here and say, okay, so why are we taking this? We have some options that are presented to us like right away, just to give us like some knowledge here already, to provide us with knowledge, just to make the process even faster. We can also create the other purpose, just, and fill in then more details later, but we can also take one of the presented options. We click on next, and now it's not like I want to highlight, it's not a form that one has to fill out. It's not something that you have to go to the branch office for. It's nothing where you have to call an advisor for. You can become active right at the moment. You don't have to print out a document and do it by hand and then scan it back and then scan it again, but you just had the possibilities. I'll just show you again. If the cash flow is negative, you can click on the option and then really start right away to your application for the new loan, right? So you click next, and you're in the next section. So now you'll have to determine how high this credit or loan should be, and all of these wordings, of course, will be tailored to the situation of the MFI. This is just our standard demonstration and that I can always show you, and that I'm doing at the moment. And so I readjusted the credit line. I can see my interest rate. Of course, I can set out a start date, and also have the possibility here to scan the financial details. This is the automatization that is in the background. So what is done here is that all the information that you've collected about your clients over the last years are in the engagement banking layer. You remember the engagement banking layer sits also on top of existing client systems. So all the knowledge that is there can be used in the engagement banking layer to speed up this process, where you now already have a approval or a pre-approval that you can tell your client that this was a success so far. And of course, there's also a legal step that has to be taken. Now, this is a demonstration of a flow without an additional signing. Well, regarding the country that you are based in, there's a big difference, right? So maybe you need a signed document. Maybe you still need the document in paper form just because of regulations. There are different types of regulations that come in here. And I want to emphasize, since we have been working with over 150 banks worldwide, we have a foundation, we have a big foundation of knowledge how to use these flows, these customer journeys in different countries and in different contexts. So what we do here is that we just accept the terms and conditions. This is a very easy click, and then we can apply for the loan. But maybe at this point in your country, it is necessary to add a digital signature, or maybe a physical signature. These are steps that can now be integrated because the platform as such, which will provide you with the systems, can be altered just like a Lego, just like playing with Lego, with little different building blocks, which is called, okay, so in this country, we take the building block signature. In this country, we can just do it automatically by pre-approval. So here you can really integrate the option that is necessary for you. Backbase has the foundation and the knowledge of all of this. So once we apply for the loan, it will close, and you can see that here for number 16 now we have taken care of the deficit. And this is
Caroline, let me just ask here a question. Thank you for addressing this issue of legal matters, because that was the first one on my list. But the second one is, this is I understand that that's really also the platform provides the tools for actually the entrepreneurs to manage, like here in this example, the cash flow. How about, and I understand that you also use the official bank account data of the entrepreneur, right? When there is the money flows through the business account of a client. How about, more informal businesses where there is also a lot of cash handling? How do you work in environments where simply clients of financial institutions, they work in a great extent with cash?
Yes, thank you. Great question, very relevant for MFIs, right? So what we do here is that we also have cash management systems. We really have a good overview also over quick actions that you can take, just if it's more about, like reacting quickly and managing your cash. But also something that I want to emphasize is that we have a very great system of interacting, like giving the employees the possibility to interact with their clients. So what we can do always here is, since the information also about the cash is at hand, there is always the possibility to really use the assistant tools that you can see here, to advise the entrepreneurs on what to do if they don't want to do it self-service by themselves, if they don't have already the knowledge of what to do, because this is on the phone and all the steps can be taken right away. So I think two things that Backbase are really good at is providing your customers with self-service. So also if maybe he moved somewhere else or he has a new co-entrepreneur entering his business, this is all something that can be communicated over the app once that change is made. So self-servicing is done very sufficiently over the app, because it also reduces the cost, because your employees don't have to be involved in the process. They can if you want them to. They can still become active in that sense. So self-servicing is one, and also the origination of new products or the renewal of products. So the origination or the onboarding of people, things like this is also really a core competence of Backbase. Eva, does that answer your question, or was that in a different direction?
Actually, it answers Arpita's question from the chat about is there an interface to talk to a person in case the product does not really meet the parameters. So I understand that if there is something that cannot be self-served by a client, then there are all those options, immediate options to talk to the staff, right?
Yes.
My question was more about clients, meaning micro businesses that work more with cash rather than payments. So they manage cash within their businesses, so they don't have those official. I mean, you don't have the bank account data about the actual cash flow. So how the solution, how the app works in environment where not all the transactions of the small business, micro business, when they are not recorded in the bank account.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's a quite that was a different direction than I actually was thinking. But maybe to answer that one, so what the platform does then is, if it doesn't have information at hand, it will just make the visual. It will just make it easier, right? So it will become a little bit flatter, but it's no problem, because all the information that we have, we show and we will use. So determining really on how much we have there, this is what you get. So you would either just have like a bigger overview over the accounts, or if you have more information, you really can go into detailed cash flows.
Okay, clear. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's really that's also an automation from the platform. So exactly for this is why the system is so modular, because then it still breaks down the processes in small steps and sees in the decision trees where does it have to do something differently. And we have a decision engine like in the platform installed that will go through these decision processes, the decision tree, and say, okay, this is a client that works more with cash, so we have to do it different. We have to show this differently than for somebody who focuses on something else. Maybe just to give that one more rephrasing. Okay, perfect. So I saw a few people joining at the end. I'll just really do a short recap. So whenever there's a scenario, you can always really address problems at hand. This is an example. You can really do this with other things as well. It is determined by the MFI itself what is going to be shown here. We can develop an app or give you an app at hand that can be altered right to your needs. We have a schooling, because I'm not too sure how the development departments are in each MFI. So what we do is that we can either alter it on your behalf, or we can also train your IT employees how to do this. We have a whole system around Academy, Backbase Academy, where your people will be schooled how to use and how to maintenance the system, partly by themselves, and then of course in cooperation always with Backbase. But this is also something that I really want to inform and inform you about and emphasize, is that all of these blocks that are presented here today are ideas to give you an idea of what we can do, and that this can be tailored and by combination of your IT and our IT departments to your needs, so you can really ongoingly meet the expectations of your customers. And in this example, one could really just take out the loan within a few steps, and pre-approvals. And that's basically it. So maybe that was a little more faster, even just to show you how fast this platform is. And the important part also is that all of this, what is on the front end, so what the user can see, the entrepreneur can see, is also automatically logged and documented in your back end and going towards your internal systems. So also there, everything is installed and marked.
Yeah. Okay. So I understand. Also, I mean, that's a question, Caroline. If in an institution uses its own credit scoring or pre-credit scoring, this can be also embedded into the solution, right? So
Exactly.
Okay.
That is bear with me, I'll do it one more second and then you can see where the step is, because this is a quick flow, right? So I alternate this, and then in the moment I click the scan financial details, this is when your scoring system comes in. So this is the scoring system of each individual bank. And then determining or depending on that scoring system, you either have an approval or not, but that is determined or tailored to each bank.
Okay.
Perfect. To each MFI. I'm sorry. I'm so used to saying banks that I apologize for using the wrong term in that case.
Okay. If you have any questions to Caroline or to this solution, feel free to ask them now. Especially, I think what's interesting is how this can be adapted to MFI's context, right? So I understand that. I mean, the crucial thing in what I see in this application is that it's built around the actual needs of the client. That it really takes this perspective of a business. And the information to feed in this cash flow or other needs of a client can come from various sources. Like I can imagine that while a microfinance client is applying for the loan, immediately the data collected claimed by a client, reported by a client can even if it doesn't come from the official bank account, this can be immediately inserted into the application. And so based on the later stages like next loan or some other products offered are based on the actual situation in the business of the client and the needs that result from these sort of calculations and reflections of the client's business.
Exactly, and maybe to add one more thing is that the platform. I'll switch back to the presentation and open this slide once again. The platform is also open to open banking. So if the client uses a different banking account, it can still be connected to the platform. So that is also a possibility. It's quite advanced, but it's also possible that you can connect an external banking account. That is also no problem. That is what is understood as open banking.
Mm-hmm. And okay, I just have a question in mind. How does it work in countries where outside the European Union, when that's not sort of legally possible to there is no PSD2 in the countries outside EU. So how does it work to connect with external bank accounts?
Well, we do need the open banking from the other bank.
Mm-hmm.
But in the countries where that is possible, there we can do it definitely.
So that's possible with the partner bank. If an MFI works with a partner bank, then that's possible to connect the information from the partner's bank. Okay, through
they have to send
open
the
banking,
information right through an API. We can the platform can receive this information and show it if it's by a partner bank. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay. Wonderful.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Maybe I wanted to head to a slide. This is where I had my demonstration, where I just really sum up the major points. If there are no questions, maybe from your side, Eva, but also from the audience.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. If you have questions, please ask them in the chat, and we will just address them in a minute.
Okay. Thank you very much. So maybe to sum it up at this point, so really the benefit for an MFI with working with Backbase and with our services and our engagement banking platform, to also name the product once more, is really this digital platform that will allow you maybe to start giving out digital loans, origination of loans, or the digital interaction with clients. That is bigger than a chatbot or a live bot. You can also include the live bot in the platform. That is no problem, because this platform that we offer will always incorporate or integrate into your existing systems. What you get is an app for a phone, but also for web, for your clients and also your employees. So we have both sides. Since this is very modular, what we offer, we can really tailor this product to your country and to your ideas, or for what you need this platform to do, the applications to do, and to assist your customers and also your employees with. And this is something that I really want to focus on. The employee is an important part in the process for a seamless digital experience for your customers, because whenever it comes to more complex scenarios or to a more personal note, it is important that your employee knows how to interact digitally with your customer. And what is really also important is that it's always also at the need of the customer, right? So the customer sees, okay, now I need assistance from my bank employee, and they can use the live chat, they can use the chat on their phone. They have all of that. They have that possibility to really, to when their need occurs, that they can interact with you. What I also want to share an example for is, that's why I didn't have it at the first slide, but I have it here, is the crazy fast implementation. So for credit card provider on Luxembourg, which is a different type of loan, I know, but still, just to give you an example, this credit card provider, Advansia, is active all across Europe and gives out credit cards. And so what we did for them is that we did 3 mobile apps in 3 different countries within 5 months. So we are very fast with doing what we do, because we are that one-stop shop for different business lines. We specialize in business and wealth and in retail banking. And we have all the products at hand out of the box that we can tailor, a little bit like Lego. I told you that picture before, where you add the building blocks that you need to really give those processes, connected processes, to your customers and to your banks, to your employees, bank employees or MFI employees. That is really just to sum up like the major points why Backbase is such an individual and unique solution to what MFIs have to offer to their clients.
Caroline, there is a good question coming. Like, how about what is your advice in terms of the markets where clients are not that digitally literate? So how what is your approach to markets where simply clients they are not very used to digital services, and simply they don't have those digital literacy skills?
Maybe two ideas come to mind when I hear that. For one, we are actually quite active in Africa. So Mauritius is also in Africa, of course, maybe not the most representative country of what you were thinking at, but also in South Africa, we have Discovery Bank and quite a few to name. So that is one. So we already have quite a big knowledge on how to serve the African market. And the second one is, are they really not used to using the digital tool for their financials? Because I would say that in other areas of life, they are used to using digital tools, right? Everybody has some sort of communication channel like Facebook, and maybe they order online. They use digital transportation systems also on their phones. So I think the phone or the digital tool is quite established, and maybe just not for the financial area yet. Is that maybe a right thought, or is the person who asked, would they say that that is not correct?
That's a question to Gaetane. So Gaetane, please feel free to comment on this.
Maybe while you're commenting, I can also give that a little more light to it. So really, what Backbase is doing is turning the experience of banking into something like a customer would expect from cool financial institutions like Uber or somebody like that, where the user experience is really and the customer is really in the center of things, and where things are made so easy for the customer that it is easier than actually calling a bank employee. That's the overall goal, and that is a digital transformation that we specialize in. And I saw that that we got an answer to the question. Thank you so much for responding. Financial is quite sensitive. Financial is definitely sensitive. That is indeed true. But I think that, or I'm convinced that with a digital channel, just like you saw in the demo, you can still keep that sensible and very you can even enhance that process of assisting your customers in what they need. So instead of waiting for them to actually come to you, you can see, if the data allows it, you can see what they're doing and giving them suggestions. You have all the information that they might not provide you otherwise with. You have all the information at hand because it's all run on the same platform, right? So in the engagement banking platform, all information is captured. And there, of course, it's all secure. That is the starting point for all of this discussion, right? That has to be given secured information. But since all the information is brought together in the platform, you as a financial advisor can do a better or more sensitive, advisory on how to further process, if that is something you want. Or you can also automate that and say you want to have 2 weeks before the loan ends, you want to give them a head up. This is now easily possible on the with a platform and with an app. Mm-hmm. So I think really, if you look at different areas in life and transferring that into the financials, it won't always work because it's not about like openness, but it's still about this closedness and this closeness and using this to really help your clients become better clients. So this is what the goal basically is of the digitalization and also the notification and interactions with the clients.
Okay, Karen, we can let's move on. Maybe if there are still more questions, feel free to ask them. Meantime, let us, as I said in the beginning, we are with Caroline curious to ask you a questions. So we kind of understand the based on MFC experience of talking to members, talking to various MFIs about the digitalization, we understand that sometimes the budget of digital solution is an issue, is a barrier to offer better digital solutions. So one of the hypotheses we have here that the idea that we want to test with you is actually having a solution, offering to a group of MFIs a solution, one solution where costs can be divided between various MFIs, right? Okay, I see there are more questions coming, but let me just, we will address them in a second. So my key question, as Caroline said, this platform that we've been reviewing, it actually offers opportunities to be implemented in different markets, so also in different countries, in different, one single solution can be implemented in various markets and in various, even in various legal environments, right? So one license can serve a number of markets and a number of financial institutions. So we would like to test with you this question, if that's something of interest for your MFI, or if this idea is sort of worth exploring, if this would be, if such a solution to enter a partnership with a group of MFIs in order to acquire the license for the digital solution, if that's something that is interesting for you. Okay, let me just take a look at the chat. I mean, you can feel free also to unmute yourself. Let me just take a look on what we have. Let me first start with okay, so there are still some technical questions. First of all, let me just if you can answer your if you could answer my questions in the chat. If such a group solution is somewhat interesting for you, let us know in the chat. While in terms of answering some more technical questions, so one of the question was.
Maybe I can pick up one.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was kind of intervening in the chat actually. We were kind of discussing the if it's possible that the employees also have a field application. Yes, this is possible. You can use that also on the phone. The employee system, and then we started talking about cloud or not. So I said, yes, it is on cloud because that's our preferred situation. And also it doesn't have to be on cloud, but, and this is something, since it would be a group solution, right? As Eva just explained. So this is something that would have to be a unified decision by what we offer for MFIs, if they want to have it on premise or if it should be on the cloud. So there we couldn't do it individually for each MFI who wants to be part of this digital transformation. We can't do it differently for each one, but we would have to do it as a group.
But at the same, okay, but the baseline here is the fundament here is that if any financial institution is interested in having your solution for their own, it does not really matter for you if it's cloud or in the premises, because both options are possible, right?
Yes.
Only with the group solution, we would need to, as a group, to decide for one.
Yes.
One solution. Okay. Okay, and we know that also the employees can use the platform on their phones. Okay, still coming back to the big questions, to the big question. I would really like to hear from you if if the idea of a group solution, that's something that is worth exploring for you. Let me just, you can simply put plus in the chat or minus if plus if you are interested, minus if not. We also, let me just say that for those who are for those of you who are interested, we in exploring different group solutions for MFIs, we are setting up a digital action group during which we will actually discuss different options, also digital payments options to be offered to MFIs in our region. So yeah, would be really interested. I would be really happy to hear if that's something of interest for you. So if you might type in plus or minus in the chat, that would be awesome. Being not interested is also a clear answer.
It's just to really evaluate if this is how maybe this can be further explored. Maybe also just the topic. It doesn't have to be with Backbase, but more like the topic, because digital and the mobile phone is just such a strong tool.
Okay. Okay, cool. I'm receiving some first answers. So okay. So let's see. Let's maybe agree. I guess that's a really quite new idea. So let's agree that while sending a presentation, Caroline's presentation, I hope it's okay, Caroline, with you to share the presentation and your contact details. While sharing this with all of you who are participating, I will also I will also inform you about our work. MFC work on exploring those group options for MFIs, so we can kind of continue the conversation offsite. I mean, maybe not offsite, but at least beyond this this webinar. Just answering the question, yes, as soon as we are ready, we will also post this video this video recording. We will post it so that you can have access to the recording and review. I mean, watch it simply once again. So this will be available. We just need a bit of time to edit a video a bit. Here I also posted you have it, you should see on your screen the questions with the evaluation. Let us know how interesting it has been for you, so that we can shape also the future webinars and the future simply the future webinars and the content delivered to you. With this, Caroline, let me thank you so much for your presentation. It has been quite, I mean, it was quite eye-opening for me. So thank you so much. I hope it has been useful also for our participants. And we definitely will stay in touch and continue the discussion. So. Right, so thank you all for participating as well. And as I said, I will share the presentation, the video recording, as well as the contacts to Caroline.
Thank you very much.